Hello, this is Mark from MW Model Works. This is a quick update video on the progress for my NX-01 Enterprise Bassard and lighting kit that I'm building from scratch. I know there are kits out there, but I was looking forward to the challenge of building my own. This is a interim step that I wanted to highlight that shows the evolution of some of the work I've been doing. Essentially what I have here is an Arduino Nano, which is hidden inside that box. The Arduino Nano is powering basically this entire project using the pins that are on the bottom as it's oriented here. So basically D2 through D10, and then the ground and V-in pins on the other side. The actual production model, which is in there right now running things as kind of a burn-in test, that is identical to this one, except for the fact that the pins come out the top instead of coming out the bottom, and they're only on one side. I don't even have this row of pins soldered on except for, again, these two, because I'm not using them. I have them coming out the top because I'm trying to minimize the profile. You've got this micro USB port and all the chip stuff on top. So to make this as small as possible, I'm having the pins come out the top, which makes it a little bit thinner. Not super important. This is a 3D printed holder, so the Nano is going to be basically in a vertical orientation like that. This Arduino Uno is not involved in this project in any way, shape, or form. So why I'm calling this an interim is because you can't drive too many LEDs from an Arduino pin. You can safely drive one. You can push it by doing two, but I intended to drive 4 LED pins. And by 4, I mean each of these Bassard collectors has 8 LEDs on it that provide a rotation. You can't really see it on the camera very well, but if you look at the blob in the middle of the left Bassard collector, you see it has somewhat of a counterclockwise rotation. Actually, no, that's clockwise. It has a clockwise rotation. And to the human eye, it actually looks much better. The one on the right that only has the 4 LEDs lit has no rotation because it's just lights that are kind of randomly blinking-ish, but not exactly random. The transition is, if you look at the back side of this, this is a big jumbled mess. So I have the opposite pairs of LEDs are connected to each other, and they're all wired in parallel, and they each have their own separate resistor. And they're all being fed through a common 5-volt input, and they're all leaving that 5-volt input to a connection with the with a transistor, which controls the amount of current going to the LEDs. That's how you make sure you don't drive too many LEDs off of a Arduino pin. You have the Arduino pin control the transistor, and the transistor can handle much more current than the Arduino can. So in this case, I originally had over here on the breadboard 4 transistors driving the 4 pairs of lights on this one LED Bassard collector. Now I have it slightly different. I have 2 Bassard collectors driving a grand total of 12 in this case, but soon to be 16 LEDs, and they're coming off of these pins here on this transistor board. So essentially, if you look at the transistor, if I can get it to focus, there you go. There's a middle pin, a bottom pin, and a top pin on the transistor. The middle pin is where the signal from the Arduino comes in and tells the transistor to open or close. When it's open, current flows between the outside pins. When it's closed, it turns it off. And that's how I'm controlling these. So 2 of them are still connected to the transistors on this board to make all 4 of them go here, but 4 of the lights, or I should say 8 total of the lights on the left and the right Bassard are being controlled completely by 2 of the transistors here. So I hope to get the rest of this wired up, and this mess here will completely disappear, and instead the Warp 5 engine for the NX-01 will consist of this single transistor board driving these two Bussards, one rotating clockwise, the other one rotating counterclockwise, in complete perfect synchronicity to give that sort of lighting effect that you see on the show. And as a quick aside, this is a setup showing the 4 strobes, which are in red and white, but they should all be white. And then there's this one white slow blinking guy, which is to represent the red and green nav lights that you'll see on the show as well. So next time I video this, it won't be a transitional phase. These transistors will be gone. These unconnected transistors on this board will be driving both of these Bussards, and I'll have basically the full setup I need for putting it into the model and going from there. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.